I wrote the check. I transferred the money because I felt intimidated.
A warning from a man in Poway after he was swindled out of $15,000 in what he believes is a landscaping scam. Hello, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Heather Myers, and here at CBS 8, we are working for you and getting to the bottom of problems you've asked about, and we're looking for solutions. We begin with our Shannon Handy, who is working to get the word out so other people don't fall victim. She has more on how the scam works and the investigation that's now underway.
Back to where it's supposed to be.
Robert Gayot takes a lot of pride in his yard, so when the 79-year-old was approached last month by a crew of landscapers offering to make some improvements for a good price, he took advantage of the opportunity.
I got up to go see who was banging on my door so loud, and then he says, we're in the neighborhood and we see your lawn, and we'll do this, for your lawn, and we'll charge you $10 a bag for the mulch. And I was thinking they're going to only use like about 40 bags in my yard.
Turns out he was the one who got taken advantage of. Robert says within minutes of agreeing, 3 additional trucks showed up with men inside. They got to work and covered his grass with mulch. Robert was monitoring outside but was instructed to go inside so he wasn't in the way. Just 1 hour later, he received this invoice for $19,000, which breaks down to 1,900 bags of mulch.
I said, what? And he says, 19,000. I said, no way. He took me to the back and showed me all the bags that were stacked up on the patio. So when I was in the house, they must have gone to the truck, taken the bags off, and put them on the back patio and stacked them up, because there's no way a full bags of mulch would have been on their little truck.
Robert told me the more he questioned them, the pushier they got.
Got right in my face and said, pay us,
So you felt threatened?
Yeah, I felt threatened. But
he talked them down to $15,000 and was instructed to write 2 checks to 2 different people for $7,500 apiece. Fearing for him and his wife's safety, he did as he was told. Since then, he's reported the incident to the Sheriff's Department, District Attorney's Office, as well as the state's Contractors License Board. He also posted about it on Nextdoor and received a lot of comments in response from others in the area who say people came to their door with the same mulch pitch.
They're hitting all the different places around here.
These pictures show some of the men reportedly involved in the scheme. The business car Robert got reads Danilo Martinez Landscaping. Yep. I called the Los Angeles-based number on it, but it didn't work. I also searched for them on Yelp and came across 1-star reviews calling the company a scam. As for Robert, while his money is long gone, he's speaking out so others don't fall victim too.
That's what we need to do, is get the word out.
Shannon Handy, CBS 8.
Wow, Shannon, thank you for shedding some light on that. We do have some good news tonight for tens of thousands of Californians who are bracing to lose their homeowners insurance with State Farm. CBS 8 is working for you. And we have learned that some customers may be able to keep their State Farm insurance as a companion policy to the California Fair Plan. CBS 8's David Gottfredson spoke to an insurance expert to sort out the options for homeowners.
The DIC policy is a homeowner's policy excluding the peril of fire.
It's called a difference in conditions policy, DIC, and it covers everything except fire damage. Californians became familiar with these policies after State Farm announced in March that it would not renew some 30,000 homeowners policies statewide. Working for you, I reached out to independent insurance agent Carl Sussman.
State Farm has always offered what's called a DIC policy, which is the companion policy that goes on top of the California Fair Plan.
Now, State Farm says it will start offering DIC companion policies to its non-renewed customers who qualify for fire insurance through the California Fair Plan. Many State Farm customers have been turning to lesser-known companies like Bamboo Insurance.
Dollar for dollar, if you're looking at a DIC policy with Bamboo versus a DIC policy with State Farm, I think it's a safe bet to say that the State Farm DIC is going to be less expensive.
Keep in mind, homeowners are still likely to pay more for a Fair Plan policy paired with a State Farm companion policy.
Rates are going to be higher in California for property insurance more than they were, say, 5 years ago. Where we are right now is higher than they need to be, and that's because this is basically the antithesis of zero competition.
But Sussman says that could change when new insurance reform laws go into effect by the end of the year and insurance companies start to come back to California.
When we do have a free market again, and we have hundreds of companies writing, then again, just by competition, we'll see rates go down.
So what does that mean for State Farm customers?
I think it's fair to say that if they're purchasing a DIC policy with State Farm today, before that policy renews, right, which is a year, the likelihood is better than not that State Farm will have other offerings for them when the policy renews than they do today.
Another thing to consider, by staying with State Farm, existing customers may qualify for a multi-policy discount if, for example, they have auto insurance with State Farm. David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
State Farm says the companion policies will become available to customers on July 3rd. Homeowners should contact their State Farm agent to set it up. Meanwhile, pets are now involved in the latest decision by an insurance company. Nationwide Insurance says it will be dropping 100,000 pet insurance policies by next summer. The company says it's starting to let members know if their policy will be canceled. CBS 8's Isabella Roberts is working for you and explains what's available for those impacted pet owners.
100,000 pet owners will have to find new insurance for their animals after being dropped from Nationwide's policy. I spoke to an insurance expert about the next steps these pet owners will have to take.
So the insurance companies are losing out, pet owners are losing out, and it's really just a sad situation.
Nationwide Insurance recently announced they will be dropping 100,000 customers' pet insurance due to, quote, inflation in the cost of veterinary care.
Nationwide is the largest provider of pet insurance policies, so for them to not offer that service anymore, obviously that's going to leave a lot of pet owners and their pets kind of high and dry looking for help.
Pet owners who have been dropped are either going to have to pay out of pocket for their pet's medical needs or find another pet insurance provider, which according to insurance expert Haley Neff, may be difficult.
That can be really frustrating for many people who had these nationwide policies that, they got their puppy in, let's say 5-10 years ago, and now their dog is much older. They're likely going to be looking at paying more for a new pet insurance provider.
She tells me that if you're worried about finding a new policy for your older dog, to look at the ASPCA's policies.
And because it has no age restrictions or coverage restrictions for older pets. So it also ranks in the top 5 for affordability.
Neff wants to assure those who may have lost their policies that with a little research, they might even find a better match.
It might not be the end of the world for a lot of these people getting dropped by Nationwide. They might be able to find a plan that is either more affordable, has better customer service. I would just look at this as an opportunity to find a new provider that really is going to fit your needs.
In San Diego, Isabella Roberts, CBS 8 News.
I mean, it's really embarrassing. It ought to be embarrassing to the city.
We are hearing from a local business owner who is concerned and fed up with knife fights, drugs, alcohol, even human excrement outside of his business. Despite several reports filed over the years, he says he feels the city is doing nothing to address the unsanitary and unsafe conditions. The owner of another side of San Diego Tours says he doesn't feel safe, and neither do his guests who are visiting America's finest city. He reached out to us for help after he watched one of our Working For You stories. CBS 8's Abby Black is working for you on his concerns and the city's response.
Another side of San Diego Tours says that it needs this courtyard to train its guests on Segway safety, but they say that there's some other guests here that are not very welcoming to our visitors. We're working for you after they say they've made several complaints to city officials. Nothing's being done.
That was a kung fu fight that took place right behind us, right there. They're just standing here, literally the faces of particularly the mother. What am I supposed to say?
All of this happening where kids and parents were preparing for their Segway ride.
So here's the guy taking a leak.
But before visitors can reach the another side of San Diego Tours at G Street and 3rd Avenue, they have to walk through the encampments in the courtyard.
The gauntlet, as I call it.
Guide shared pictures of alcohol and drugs in clear view.
There's the liquor bottle. We got kids coming here. And to smell a pot?
Every day we walk up and it's a wild card. You never know what it's going to be like.
This is not the impression that tour guides want to give visitors in America's finest city.
The city should be embarrassed by this.
Tour guide Kevin Wilkerson told me that the owner of the company has filed countless complaints.
But I know 20 to 30 times within the last couple of weeks, he's gone to the various channels of the city, even sent a letter to Todd Gloria.
While we wait to hear from the city, the police and the mayor did not respond to our request for comment. We found several reports on the Get It Done app. Some are active, some are closed, while others are on the referred process since last fall.
Very frustrating. And you get at your wits' end. You know, what do you do next?
That's why the owner, Kenneth Lippman, reached out to CBS 8.
He's very desperate. He's begging for help. And, we're glad you're here to bring some light to the situation.
The city emailed me a response. In summary, it says, for enforcement, police must witness a crime or violation. There are neighborhood policing division officers who are out 7 days a week and have closed Get It Done complaints in this specific location. The city adds that it is not illegal for a person who may appear to be experiencing homelessness to sit or stand in a public place. The tour guides say that they want to feel safe, and more importantly, they want San Diego visitors to feel welcomed.
It's not sanitary and it's not safe. And don't think that we don't feel uncomfortable coming here.
Working for you in downtown, Abby Black, CBS 8.
Boy. All right, still ahead, safety concerns at Pacific Beach, a partial cliff collapse as more people start visiting the beach this summer. We speak with a local geologist about just how safe the area is and if this could have been just a warning sign. And later on, the cost of childcare is surging, where you might be able to find some more affordable options. And don't forget, we want to look into the issues affecting you and your community. Email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com. We'll be right back. Tonight, there is concern after a cliff partially collapsed in Pacific Beach. A viewer contacted us and wanted to know if the city is doing enough to protect beachgoers from falling debris. CBS 8's Abby Black is working for you and shows us what is happening and how the city is responding.
The city put up barricades above the cliff collapse in Pacific Beach on Ocean Boulevard at Diamond Street. But below the cliff collapse, you get a better look at the hazard that this is posing for beachgoers and people taking a shower. We're working for you to find out what the city's doing to make it safer.
See where the kids are going?
While covering the red tide in Pacific Beach on Tuesday, Larry Phelps stopped me to show me his concerns about the recent bluff collapse.
What I'm concerned about is somebody might be in those showers when it decides to make a big move.
We've been working for you since Phelps shared his worries with us.
I've sent in Get It Done reports, and I'm not getting, they actually sent me a response saying, we haven't found a problem.
While we wait to hear from the city, we invited geologist Dr. Pat Abbott out to survey the damage.
This slope failure here has not finished. It's a work in progress. A large mass is gone, but we have several other smaller masses that are going to be coming down soon on both sides of the larger one here.
As we walked on the stairs to the beach,
there you see a big clump of sea lavender roots hanging out over the cliff. That's going to be coming down soon.
Abbott stops and notices it's even much worse from this angle.
What we're seeing is not just one isolated cliff collapse here, but we're seeing failures, numerous failures in the weak rocks along here.
He spots one of the erosive agents.
There's one. Ground squirrels digging burrows. They're weakening the rock.
Now on the beach,
it crumbles into pieces.
Abbott shows us how weak the dirt is from the cliff, which is not a good sign.
This should be yellow taped off. Nobody used these showers until that mass of earth there, that slide mass, has been removed.
Surfers in the showers took notice too.
Yeah, it's going to keep falling.
The city emailed me a statement in part writing the cliff destabilization was caused by a water leak, which has been stopped, but the source has not been identified. Parks and Rec staff are monitoring, barricades are up, and there's no visible signs of leaking or increased destabilization for more than a month since city crews first discovered and worked to address the issue.
Fix it. That's what we pay for.
Working for you in Pacific Beach, Abby Black, CBS 8.
For the past few weeks, we've been following an insurance battle involving a church in Encanto and their denied claim. Well, now we have learned this is turning into a more common problem all across the country. CBS 8's Shannon Handy is working for you on this story, and she found out when it comes to insurance coverage, churches are dealing with a lot of the same problems that are hitting homeowners.
I'm here at Helping Hand Church of God in Christ. Last January, this entire room flooded. The carpet has since been replaced, but members are now trying to figure out how to pay for a new roof, something their insurance won't cover.
All this area was saturated.
Pastor Thomas Tisdale walked me around so I could see some of the damaged areas.
Nothing but water all over the place.
These pictures show what it looked like following the January 22nd storm. Pastor Tisdale says water not only seeped in from the roof, but through doorways, making its way into the sanctuary, bathroom, office, and beyond. He immediately filed a claim with his insurance company, Guy One. They sent out an inspector, and within days of that visit, followed up with this letter denying their claim.
My assistant pastor and I just submitted from the way he was acting that they were going to deny our claim. and sure they did.
Thanks to a donation from a member of a congregation, the carpet was replaced, but the same can be said about the roof. Pastor Tisdale has received estimates ranging from $45,000 to $70,000 for a new one, something they can't afford.
We're a small church. The congregation does very well as far as keeping our church going, but we don't have 40,000 or 50 or 60,000 laying around.
I've been investigating a similar story over at Greater Center Church of God in Christ in Mount Hope.
Here's what they said.
They too are dealing with insurance issues. Their insurance from Guy One was abruptly canceled based on these satellite images claiming their roof was bad, even though Cindy Buggs, the pastor there, says that's not the case.
How can they see the condition of a roof from a satellite? I don't care how close they get.
In order to get coverage elsewhere, he had to take out an $80,000 loan for a new roof and new policy, triple what he had been paying. I reached out to Guy One, but they said they can't comment on business involving their potential or actual policyholders. So I called a broker who specializes in church insurance. He told me, like we've seen with homeowners insurance, companies that cover churches are more selective when it comes to what they will or won't cover. They're also canceling policies and raising rates both in California and nationwide.
We couldn't leave it in here, so we took it all up.
As for Pastor Tisdale, regardless of his claim denial, he's hoping his insurance stays intact, saying his focus now is to secure enough funds for a new roof before the next big rainstorm hits.
We haven't really been successful yet, but we're not going to give up on that. We're going to continue to try.
Working for you, I'm Shanna Handy for CBS 8.
Time now for Working for Your Wallet. Mortgage rates have surged to their highest levels since late last year. That's according to the California Association of Realtors. The 30-year fixed mortgage rate was about 7.6% in May. It's just slightly lower than that now. But they say it's impacting home sales in Southern California. The median home price in San Diego County was just over $1 million in the month of May. That's a 2.1% decrease from April, but a 9.6% increase from last year. Home sales in the state dipped 1.1% and are down 6% from a year ago. Tonight, childcare costs continue to rise. Families have seen prices shoot up more than 32% since 2019. That's faster than the rate of inflation. The average American spends nearly $1,000 a month on childcare. In some parts of the country, prices can balloon 2 or 3 times that amount. There is help for lower income families, though, including various programs that provide financial assistance. Eligibility requirements vary by state, and you can find more information at childcare.gov. That is going to do it for us. Remember, if there is something that you would like us to look into, you can email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.